So let's talk for just a minute about why you need a better book cover and what a book cover can do for you. A better book cover is the best book marketing. A lot of people will think when you want to publish your book and you're starting to think about book marketing, you might think about a lot of different things: your author website, your author profile, your picture, even like Amazon keywords and categories. But the book cover is not just one piece of your whole puzzle. It's not one piece of the pie. The book cover is your whole platform. It's the very basic. It's the first thing, the very first thing that anybody sees, and it's the introduction to your book. So before anything else even matters, they've got to find the book first. So there's some different considerations. Your keywords, your categories, your content. That's what's going to make your book visible so that it can be found in search results. But as soon as it pops up, even as just a thumbnail, it's got to make the right kind of connection with the right readers immediately. And that's just from the book cover art. So if you've got an Amazon page and people are clicking on it, but then there's the book cover, and then there's the description, and then there's the other information, there's the price, there's other factors, but nothing's going to matter unless you get past the book cover. And the book cover is kind of like a gate. It'll let people in. If it's good enough, it'll let people in to read the rest of your content. But if it's not good enough, you'll lose them before they even find out what your book is about. They won't read the subtitle. They won't see the reviews because they're gone already as soon as your book cover isn't good enough. So there's quite a bit of on the one hand, it's kind of a pass-fail. There's not really a huge gray range level between kind of very good or super good or amazing. It's a yes or no. It's either it works and it gets people to that next step, or it doesn't and it's failed. And so a book cover with an average or mediocre, something that's not great, but it's just kind of okay, it's going to hurt you more than you think, because there's really too much competition. And so just to get them to that point where they're reading the content so that you can actually convince them to buy, you've got to get their attention with a nice book cover. And so in my studies, I do a lot of book cover makeovers and experiments, and I'll find that a better book cover can easily double your sales and get you 4 times the number of views, but it'll also make your social media and content creation much easier. You won't have to do as much social media or outreach or relationship building. You won't have to do as much content. You won't have to spend nearly as much on advertising or marketing. And what can actually happen is if you have a ugly cover and you're throwing a lot of money into advertising, most of those advertising, it's not going to work because people are seeing either you're showing them the book cover and they're just not clicking because they don't like the book cover, which is better because then it's your book cover's problem. What's more dangerous is if you're advertising and they are clicking because you don't show the book cover, so you're just doing text advertising, and so they're clicking, but then they come over to your website or Amazon and then they see the cover and you lose them. So you're still paying for those clicks, but they're not converting to buys, and those are going to be big problems. So when we start talking about the kind of book cover you need and what's going to work for you, you need to focus. It's not so much about the art. It's not so much about the details on the cover. It's just, does it work or doesn't it? Is it a pass-fail? Is it making the sale? Is it getting people to buy the book? Is it working with your marketing campaign? Or is it a hole that's just sucking up all your efforts? So you've got to focus on it, not just as one part of your marketing strategy. It's got to be good enough. You've got to make sure your book cover is strong enough to hold up everything else, because it's really the whole platform that everything else is based on. So in the next slide, we're going to talk a little bit more about what you can do to make it good enough.